Well, it is Trial Tuesday. You know, summertime means hitting the beach. And attorney David Aylor is here to keep us informed about beach laws and rules you need to follow to keep you out of legal trouble this summer, because ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody's got time for having their summer.
Yeah, especially while you're out on the beach enjoying yourself.
Exactly. Now let's talk about some of the problems or the trouble that beachgoers can get into this year, like alcohol and knowing what the alcohol laws are.
Well, the easiest thing to know about that is here down in the low country, there's no beach as of now that alcohol is allowed on. It used to be in certain places such as Folly Beach where you're allowed to have alcohol, but you're supposed to have it in a cup. You can no longer do that. So whether it's in your own cup or a separate container, or believe it or not, some people say, well, what if it's a mixed drink? Well, there's still alcohol
in it.
Yeah, it's not just beer or wine.
What are you drinking to come up with that idea?
Exactly, you would think so. But so at this point, there's nowhere that you can go, and it has nothing to do with whether you're 21 or not. This is for adults. So obviously, if you're underage, that's illegal in and of itself. So that's something people need to keep in mind, and they are going to be looking for folks. Now, I don't think it's going to be anything where they're searching your coolers nonstop, but they're going to be paying attention.
Now, do you think maybe if someone might have had a few drinks before they come out there and, they get into like some type of disorderly conduct type of situation?
Yeah, and we saw that a lot last summer. I think that's probably part of the reason why Folly Beach changed, was due to some conduct, not as so much the alcohol drinking that was going on the beach. And ultimately what you see there is you're going to see the police coming out to really try to protect, because there's going to be so many people locally and from out of town that are here with their families. You got people using profanity, getting in arguments, fights, sometimes girlfriend, boyfriend type of fights, that sort of thing.
Because you don't want to bring your sand to the beach.
Yeah,
remember that?
Exactly. And then to mess with it, right?
Exactly. So, now let's talk about trash, because most people bring their coolers and most people pack a lunch because they plan on being out there every day. You can't just throw your trash on the beach.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you would think in this day and age that wouldn't be such a problem, but unfortunately it really is. There's a lot of volunteers that go out to the different beaches just after each weekend to just help with the trash issue, because you have so many people, that whether it be cigarette butts or, like you said, potato chip bags, different things like that, they just don't really pay enough attention. Things start to blow away, and it's really a terrible situation, and also get you a really hefty fine.
Yeah, we don't have time for that as well. And also walking in the dunes. And are there laws against that? Because that's sort of like a protected area.
It's a protected area, and what you'll end up seeing a lot of times is people just not really paying attention to what they're doing, and they'll be cutting through and different things like that, and there's a reason for that protection, and you can also get fined for that.
And speaking of fines, and people can get into some serious trouble, especially if they've been drinking. Maybe they're driving on the beach, they get pulled over and things of that nature. And of course, those could be little nicks on your records. Those can actually go on.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's something as small as a disorderly conduct type of thing, if it's a criminal offense and you're taken to jail, which often people are, they'll pay the ticket to get out on bond. And I've had this recently happen in my office. And then later they'll say, hey, I pulled my record. I thought I just got a ticket that I paid and they let me out of jail. No, that was a criminal offense, and it is a conviction.
Oh, now let's talk about this right quick, too, with that being on their record. How many of those things are expungible, where they can have that removed?
Well, if it's within 3 years and they don't have any other ones, it could be expungible. And unfortunately, though, if there's a number of things that come into play that can stop that, so you could have something that seems so minor come back to haunt you later. And the problem also is that if you are convicted of it, within 3 years, it's going to stay on there regardless. And this particular person was doing some real estate work, and when they pulled a record, they found it, and it really started creating some problems.
All right. So in essence, if you're going to be headed out to the beach this summer, know the rules. No booze on the beach. Okay.
Exactly.
Try to keep your tempers under control. Keep your trash to yourself, and by all means, don't bring more sand to the beach.
Absolutely. Make sure you dress appropriately too.
Yes, please, please, because we don't want to see some things, right?